Good morning. First and foremost, I would like to thank everyone for attending the graduation ceremony. I would also like to personally thank Governor Phil Murphy for taking the time out of his busy day to host this ceremony. It is my absolute honor to be the guest speaker for the Locomotive Engineer Training Class 1805 today, and I would like to thank my instructor Jess for the opportunity to do so. Where do I begin? I graduated with honors from high school, then attended college for 2 years to study business management, and I thought that was one of life's biggest challenges. Boy, was I wrong. In December of 2018, I began New Jersey Transit's Locomotive Engineer Training Program, and this has been the true challenge. For years, I heard my late grandfather talk about how good a career the railroad is, and he was and still is the inspiration I have to make it through this program. Naturally, I was overcome with joy when I received the phone call that I had been accepted into this program no matter what challenges lie ahead. The past 20 months have been filled with obstacle after obstacle, test after test, and it is all so warranted given the amount of responsibility that is associated with this job, carrying thousands of people each day to their destination safely and on time. If you've ever wondered what it takes to operate a train, it is far more than just pushing buttons and moving levers. It's about learning the ins and outs of every type of locomotive and coach on the tracks. It's about learning the air brake system, the signal system, the operating rules, and the physical characteristics of every last mile of track we operate on, and being tested on it randomly again and again. The words "study everything" are drilled into the brains of the 17 graduates here today. My classmates can attest to the fact that there is nothing more stressful in this program than waiting around for your quiz or exam grades in that break room in Newark, not knowing whether you've passed or if you're about to be removed from the program, and then finally breathing that huge sigh of relief when the exam is back in your hands, not adorned with the red pen of doom. After all of the in-class learning, we then moved on to the train handling portion of the program. We have worked with a diverse group of experienced engineers for our on-the-job training, learning different techniques that can only be taught in the field and not out of any textbook. We have worked day and night, near and far, with the patient and the stern to build up our own experience, routine, and train handling technique. Thanks to our instructor, Jess, we worked through a pandemic that rocked our worlds and still managed to keep ourselves sharp while working at home with daily operating rules, homework assignments, and Zoom conference calls for situational training. The railroad never stops, no matter the time of the day, adverse weather, or even the coronavirus. We started this program as naive, bright-eyed students and finish it as sharp, polished, determined, and elite engineers for New Jersey Transit. I would like to thank all of our instructors, Ken, Lamont, Brian, Steve, Scott, and especially Jess, for all their hard work to make sure that we are the most prepared we can be for our check rides and promotion. With all this being said, it feels nothing short of surreal to be standing here today after getting this far through the program. I think back to being a little kid and riding the train to Philly with my dad on the Atlantic City line, and now I'm getting paid to operate those very same trains. It is an amazing feeling to have things come around full circle. I'd like to close by saying thank you to my friends and family, especially my parents, for the motivation and support to help me get to where I'm standing at this very moment. Thank you all once again to our instructors, and most importantly, congratulations to all my classmates. Thank you all again for allowing me to speak here today.
Man, that is a tough act to follow. Good morning, everybody. Jared, really impressive. I've been to a bunch of these graduations, and that's as impressive a table setting as any I've been to. So to you and your family and all of your classmates, hats off to each of you. Can you forgive me only because this is the only real public appearance I have today, if I could talk about two things that are not related to graduation, and then I'll come back to graduation, if that's okay. Number one, on the COVID front, we got an additional 455 positive test results. So that's another data point that we're not out of the woods yet. The cumulative total is just under 193,000. Our positivity rate is just under 3 at 2.99%. The rate of transmission is just under 1.99%. We have 500 folks in the hospital, 98 of whom are in the intensive care unit, 36 are on ventilators, and sadly we announce 9 more confirmed deaths, bringing our total to an unfathomable 14,188, one of whom is a very dear friend and of Kevin's and of mine, the guy who ran the rail operations for NJ Transit, Ray Kenny, just to show that this has impacted every walk of life in our state, including NJ Transit. So we stand with the families who have suffered sickness or loss, and we will continue to. And beyond that, it has created an economic crisis unlike anything we have ever dealt with. And that leads me to the second point off topic. In the past 5.5 months, more than 1.5 million New Jersey workers have filed claims for unemployment. Last week was exactly within one person the same as the week before, just over 20,000 initial claims filed. Our Department of Labor has put $14.7 billion on the street to these workers and families, and that's a combination of state money and federal money. And we know that there are still claims that are unresolved. Overwhelmingly, they're because of very unique reasons to that individual, but we commit to getting them all resolved. Right now, we're at 96% of all folks who have been deemed monetarily eligible have gotten something, and I want to give a shout out to Labor Commissioner Rob Angelo and his team who have been fighting through this tsunami, and it is a tsunami. So thank you for allowing me to speak to those two important items, but not related to the celebration that we have today. So Jared, thank you again for your setting us up today. And on behalf of all of us up here, and I'll get to my colleagues in a moment, through you to you and your 16 classmates today, thank you for stepping up to be a part of the transformation of NJ Transit. I want to thank the guy to my immediate left, NJ Transit President and CEO Kevin Corbett, and the tremendous training center staff you mentioned, Jess and the whole team. So hats off to them. In absentia, the chair of the board, the commissioner of the Department of Transportation, Diane Gutierrez-Scacchetti. Particularly thrilled to have Middlesex County own chairman of the Senate Transportation Committee and a dear friend, Senator Pat Dignan, with us. Pat, always a pleasure and an honor, and a real treat. I also got to acknowledge we are a proud union state. We wear that as a badge of honor, and I want to give a shout out to my friend, the president of SMART, Jerome Johnson, and all the other members of labor who are with us today. Jerome, I love you. I didn't recognize you with that tailor-made hat on. We also got another Middlesex star, Santi Nera, who is both a freeholder, soon to be commissioner, I'm happy to say, in Middlesex County, and a board member of NJ Transit. So Santi, to you, great to have you here. Kevin, you gave me several months ago an NJ Transit mask. And I want you to know that every time it gets washed, one of our family members grabs it out of the top of the pile. It's literally the most favorite mask in our house, which you're not wearing it, are you, sir? That's not, my family didn't slip you that. So I thought of this wearing the temporary guy coming in today. So at some point I need to get another one because it is mask number one in our household. So to our graduates, you are the 5th class of prospective engineers who I've had the personal honor of joining to celebrate and congratulate as you reach the end of the line for this phase of your training. And because I know the women and men at the training center have done their jobs as they always do, they're exceptional, you'll be able to do yours. As you head out for your final field test and your check rides, I know you'll prove that you are ready for the tasks ahead. You are coming on board at an auspicious time. We have spent the better part of 30 months turning NJ Transit around, improving performance and responsiveness, and reinstilling both customer faith in service and the sense of pride in all who work across this system. And every day brings with it a step forward, and this is a big step. And today, each of you takes that step with us. But we're also mindful of the unique challenges that NJ Transit faces because of the ongoing pandemic and the public health and economic crises which it has fueled, and as I mentioned a few moments ago. So even as we work to make this system work, not just for those of you who make it run, but also for those who use it, we are working just as hard to make sure everyone stays safe and healthy. We're all undertaking this important work together. We're frankly going through it for the first time. There's no playbook for this, as you all know. And we're all going to stay at it until both of our main objectives are achieved. Number one, defeating this virus and getting our state and our economy not just back to where it was, but beyond that to where we know it can be, to a place we've never been before. And two, making NJ Transit a national model for how a safe, efficient, and on-time transit system runs. So achieving these twin goals will require us to take full advantage of everything that NJ Transit means to our state. Our commitment to fighting to provide the resources that NJ Transit needs is not dampened one bit. In whatever way we can fight for you and for the residents you serve, I promise you we will do it. And in return, I ask you to do your part, as I know you will, in creating a new culture of success at NJ Transit and recreating an NJ Transit that meets the needs of every commuter. Each and every single one of us here today shares a commitment to excellence and to the job ahead. Trust me, it is not going to be easy, and every day won't be the same, but we can and we will rise to this moment in our state's history. As you leave here today and prepare to write the next chapters in your own careers and lives, know too that you are helping millions of commuters build their own comeback stories as we together write a new chapter in the history, not just of NJ Transit, but of our entire state. New Jersey is getting back to work. Pat, you know this. You lived it today. Back to school and back to play. And that return may be deliberate and cautious, but it is happening. And as it does, you will each play a role in our long-term recovery. Always remember that it is not just your careers which ride with NJ Transit, but so does the future of our state and our ability to rebound from this pandemic stronger and fairer than ever before. We are all counting on each and every one of you, and we're incredibly proud of you and your families and friends who have gathered with you today and have supported you along the way. And I know that faith is well placed. You're ready for the job ahead, and I thank you for answering the call to be a part of the future of NJ Transit. I once again want to give a shout out to the tremendous training staff. I once again thank our partners, Jerome, to you and your colleagues in labor, for their commitment to growing their ranks and building NJ Transit's future. And I once again thank Diane, Kevin, and everyone, Santi and the board and everybody working behind the scenes to restore NJ Transit's place as a national model. And like everything we do, it takes a village, and we couldn't support NJ Transit as we do without great leadership in our legislature. And Pat, I want to again give you a shout out. Thank you all again for personally letting me to be a part of your day, and I wish you nothing but the very best. Please help me welcome now the President and CEO of NJ Transit, Kevin Corbett.
Thank you, Governor. And Jared, I can agree with the Governor. That was a great explanation of why the program's so hard, and agree on, a lot of thanks to the instructors as well. I've seen many of you out on the, in my commuting to work, and seen, I've stayed away not to bother you because, you had to focus. But, Jerome, you'll appreciate that, particularly if it's 6610. And I got Vinny wanting to bend my ear, one of the conductors, for those who don't know. I'll be up in the head end with you guys. Hope you don't mind. So, but it is a real remarkable accomplishment. I know how hard it was to get here. I think, as the Governor said today, we're celebrating yet another LETP joining the ranks, and I have to say this has been one of the most challenging. When you started, the end of 2018, who knew we'd be going through, the pandemic? And we decided when the pandemic hit that we had to keep the LETP program going, and we obviously had to make a lot of adjustments that even raised the difficulty for you all. Certainly, embracing technology, so be able to move back and really get the program going, even if it had to be remotely. So, the bottom line is, as of today, we're fully approaching, Governor, the full roster of locomotive engineers. Once this class completes their final check ride, we'll have added 76 new locomotive engineers to our roster since 2018. And for the public, that means, on average, Every engineer is going to be doing 4 trips, so what that means as far as trains and cancellations, you can figure the math. And if you, as the governor said, over 2 years, we've graduated the same number of LETP classes as the previous 5 years combined. By no means are we done yet, and we won't be until we have that roster full, and which is projected to be early next year. And I want to make sure, after all it's taken us to get here, Governor, I can assure you that once we are at that full roster, we'll keep the program going to make sure that we account for attrition as people retire. I would say that despite the current challenges, it really is an exciting time to be coming to New Jersey Transit, to be coming up to an engineer. I think I was proud to be with the governor back in June when we rolled out our NJT 2030, the 10-year strategic plan, as well as our new 5-year capital plan. As many of you know, we never had one. And as the governor used to say, you can't get there if you don't know where you're supposed to be going. But both are first of their kind in the agency's history. Together, these plans will help us build on the significant progress we've made over the last few years and provide a roadmap that will guide decision-making as well move us forward over the next decade. On the capital plan side, it's not just that it's a document on a shelf. It's something that will really benefit all you graduates as well as the writing public. And the governor's commitment to that, again, that's a 5-year plan. It's an ambitious $17 billion capital plan. That's not just going to improve customer experience, but you'll be seeing it out every day as you're on the rails. It includes more than $4 billion in major capital projects that are underway right now or in the procurement process, such as Portal North Bridge, Raritan River Bridge, the Long Slip Fill project underway in Hoboken, County Yard in Delco, right down in New Brunswick, and other projects that you've seen like Elizabeth Station just coming down today, a number of the projects, Railways coming up. And of course, besides that, you have the Modernized Fleet that we're coming out. I know we have 7 new of the dual modes that we just acquired at the last board meeting. Shante was able to participate on that. And other things such as track and right-of-way systems, infrastructure improvements, other stations and track improvements that are long overdue. And we want that so that you can really be proud of being a New Jersey Transit employee. It's been really a couple of rough years for those, as you know. And now that we're coming out of that and really moving ahead, it's something you can be proud of while we're delivering first-class service that our customers deserve. And at the same time, it really goes back to goal number 1 in our NJT 2030 strat plan, ensuring the reliability and continued safety of our transit system. I would say, Governor, under those capital plan, you talk about unemployment. There were those today with over $4 billion of construction. In 2017, there was only $60 million in hard money contracts that were let by New Jersey Transit. Now we're talking $4 billion over this year, next year, and playing out. That's creating thousands of good union jobs as well at a time when we really need them. So New Jersey Transit is now coming back, really playing a role, not just in today, but as we come back. We're the most densely populated state in the country. I have no doubt 1 year, 2 year, as we come through this crisis and you get back out, people are going to return to transit and we will continue to grow. So it really is a very exciting time, and you should be very proud today. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize everybody individually. So when I call your name, please join me on the stage and bring your certificate up. And yeah. Oh, sorry, he was supposed to go, I think, afterwards, but fine, whichever. You want to go, Pat? Yeah. Okay, we'll do that and then do the photo. That's fine. Yeah. You want to do the introduction? Sorry. Yeah. Perfect.
Kevin, thank you. But you said something that I want to just underscore. One of the mistakes that we think we made in the Great Recession, Pat, you and I have talked about this, is we cut ourselves to the bone and we gave up all of our options on future programs. And one of the decisions we made collectively, and you'll see it in the budget we proposed, is we're not cutting back on programs like this. We're not cutting back on our investment in the future because we know we're going to get through this. We're not going to get through this unscathed, but we will get through this. And we need to have something there when we come out the other side. We need to be standing. We need to have made the investments as we are making in you. And we can't do that alone. I mentioned this a minute ago. It does take a village. You need great partners in the legislature, and there is no better partner than Senator Pat Duignan, who chairs not only a dear friend and a great leader and a Middlesex County guy, but chairs, importantly, the Senate Transportation Committee. And that is a nexus of all things good as it relates to NJ Transit and so much else. So please help me welcome Senator and Chairman Pat Duignan.
I'll try and be brief, but you know, when a politician says that, you're in trouble. You know, I'm sitting here, and when I was in high school, I had a teacher who used to have you read a book or see a movie and say, what was the theme of that particular book? Today, the theme is pride. And it's something that we in New Jersey don't do enough. I could not be prouder of our governor. If you think what he has put up with, first of all, we had a health issue right before this pandemic hit. New Jersey is a leader in attacking this virus. Is everybody looking at the news about the real estate market in New Jersey? Everybody from all other states moving to New Jersey. Why do you think that is? You think that's by mistake? It's because they get it. And sometimes we here in New Jersey don't get it. We should be prouder. Today, Governor, I saw you announce the #1 schools in the nation are in the state of New Jersey. We've dealt with the pandemic better than anybody else. And I was looking at Jared when he sat down. Is that your mom and dad? The pride from your mom when you sat down, she did everything but hug you, but she knows you'd be embarrassed, but she did give you a little pat on it. Hey, guys and women, there are easier jobs than the engineering job, as Jared but you took this on, and I thought it was so interesting, Jared, because you said it runs in a family. It's similar to police and fire. You are taking this not as a job, but as a vocation. And I just cannot say how proud we are of you. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for keeping New Jersey a great place to live and work. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Senator. You now see why he's the chair of the Transportation Committee and why we had him as a closer. Thank you, Pat. All right, as I call your name then, if you come on up, we'll get a photo, bring your certificate with you, and we'll come up for a photo individually, and then afterwards, we'll get a group photo. We'll come down and get a group photo from up here looking that way. So, John Arguelles? All right, next we have Ray Benoit. Yeah, that's great. Michael Beal. And next is Justin Chomix. Justin. Next we have is Dave Lawrence. Ricky Marquez. Next is Adam Mascareno. And then next we have Joseph Malelli. And now Christina O'Donnell. And next, Stephen Ruth. And next we have Christian Savashek. All right, and Marcus Solt. All right, Marcus. And Jared, I know this is becoming routine for you, but would you come back up? And I know Kevin Torres has a family emergency today, which hopefully will bring good news to the family. But so he's not able to make it, but we certainly know he's put a lot of time. We'll get catch up with him later, but we'll give him a round of applause. And then lastly, we have Jessica Walton. Okay, now Jessica, don't go far because we'd like to, before breaking up, would like to get everyone for a group photo. So I think if you stand in front of your seats, we'll come down and face this way, Governor, Pat, Senator, and face that way, and then we'll get the. Oh, I did? How did I do that? I left. Jonathan. Gwazdik, we forgot Jonathan. So my bad, sorry. Sorry about that, Jonathan. So we'll come down, Governor, we'll come down, face this way. What did we forget? Charlie. I thought we read that after Justin. Okay, Charles Donnelly. Sorry. All right. Now we can go ahead, all right, Carol?
Hold on, Kevin.
Sorry.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Right.
All right, everybody. 1, 2, 3. All right. You're good, sir.
Congratulations, everybody.